All right, we're using Blender 3.1 because I want to use the dual mesh mode. I had this idea to make kind of like a car garage or maybe something like a background for a text animation. And geometry nodes is a fun little ditty, fun little thing. So we're going to use geometry nodes for this. That being said, let's go ahead and make a plane in geometry nodes. Some of this might not be entirely practical, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and straight up delete that. Mesh primitives, grid. It's called a grid instead of a plane here in geometry node. So there we go. So size, we're going to go 5 by 2 for kind of the floor of the garage. Excuse me. That seems about maybe 5 by 3. That's fine. All right, then on our vertices, this floor can be pretty, we're going to keep the floor low vert. Low vert, I don't know if that's a word, X90. And then for the back wall, that can be by 2. I do need to go ahead and make a duplicate. There we go. 2. And then we'll just go ahead and bring it up like that. The garage is not going to be that tall, actually. So what if we did 5 by 1, 1.5? That looks a little bit more like the garage I want to use. Cool. And then in this case, we are going to subdivide. Now what's great about this is, you know, I want to have square faces, and so generally I would have to use loop cuts. But this time, because we're using geometry nodes, it's all editable. It's not destructive, so I come back and edit it again. So I want it to be very, very dense. And then we're going to get triangulate, because dual mesh can only work with triangulate when we're working with square faces, at least in this application. Maybe there's some exceptions. So we'll dual mesh that. Now we have kind of our fence in a sense. Did that rhyme? Maybe. I'm going to duplicate this and just remove the triangulate and the dual. Oops. Got to make a duplicate. There we go. Always got to remember that. It's like making a material. All right. So now this here, we're going to want to turn it into kind of a fence kind of wireframe. So mesh to curve, and then we'll go curve to mesh. And then we'll get a circle curve to tell it how big to make that wireframe. So curve circle. To me, this is a way better. To me, this is way better than the wireframe modifier. I just like it a lot better. See how you have round wireframes? If I were to use the other wireframe modifier, it would be triangular. In a way, it'd be like 3 faces for the wireframe. And I'm just not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of that. All right, so now we have the back wall of the inside of our thing. So this is 5 by 3. So RY90. So we need to get this a lot shorter. Actually, how tall is this? 1.5. So this needs to be 1.5. Oops. There we go. So we can make this as tall as... Make them as tall as each other. And then I'll go ahead and just make an instance of that over here. Isn't that fun? Isn't geometry nodes just so fun? And then we'll just go ahead. Actually, don't want to make it. There we go. Just go like that. I had made an instance, and I don't know if I want to do an instance. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for the ceiling. Well, actually, no, we need to make a duplicate. We need to make a duplicate of the ceiling and bring it down a little bit because we're going to do the same thing. So vertices actually needs to be pretty low vert. Very low. And then we're going to use triangulate. We're going to get a really cool kind of ceiling light, roof light, whatever. But you'll see. It's going to be very, very cool. Dual mesh. There we go. So that's going to be our light. And then we're going to make that a big wireframe. And that's going to make a really cool reflection from the ceiling, like some fluorescent lights. Curve to mesh. Curve circle. Honestly, I just could have duplicated that wall, but oh well. And then radius can come down, but still have a pretty big radius. There we go. That looks about right. Need to get a set material, and then we'll make a material for this. Oh god. So material will be lights. And then of course make it emissive. And then tell it to grab that. There we go. This back wall is going to be our metal material, so metallic. Make it darker. Set material, metal. So that should, yep, that works now. For the walls and the ceiling, I do want to use some references. You can see there's a gap there. I do want to use some references, so I pulled up, well, I need to, I didn't, forgot to go back. So, there we go, modern car garage. I'm really mostly wanting to look at the floor materials. That looks like, I don't know if I like that. Look a little impractical. Here we go. So floor is really dark. So that's what we're gonna do. And here, actually, let's go ahead and model the fluorescent lights. I don't know, do we wanna do materials right now? Yeah, we do. We do wanna do materials right now. Let's get the EV settings on. And then the floor. Set material. Let's make a new material for that and call it floor. Probably not how you spell that. Maybe it is, who knows? I have no confidence in my ability to spell. Base color come to black. Roughness low. Something like that. Here, we're gonna get more of a grungy, kind of a cement wall look. So wall, and then we'll go here to shading because it needs to be a lot more custom. I guess the ceiling can be that same black. I guess that's all right. So let's remove these things. Get a color ramp here. Kind of an industrial vibe. And then we'll do this. There we go. Okay. Detail 12, roughness very high. And then we can just kind of play with this a little bit. Bring that scale up. There we go. Make this a little bit more gray. Cool. All right, and then it does need to have a little bit of bumping. And then we'll just go ahead and duplicate these guys. I forget the command where you can do that and keep them connected, but that's okay. Plug it here. Let that load. There we go. Oh, it's already It's already digging in for us. That's good. And then we'll just do that. It does need to be a little bit more gray, I think. It needs to look like cement in a way. That looks way better. And then this can have that same material. So we'll go back to geometry nodes for that. Awesome. This could be thicker for sure. We'll do 5, which is probably what I had it originally. I don't know what happened. There we go. Make it pretty reflective. There we go. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Make it a little bit blue. Always love to do that. The floor needs a little bit of fun. So we'll go back to shading and mess with that floor a little bit. I know what fun we can add to it. Just make it, get a brick texture. I mean yeah, brick texture. And plug that to the height. All right. And then we'll get that mortar smoothness. Hold on, what am I looking at here? Here we go. Aha, there it is. Okay. Get those tiles going. Really small. Do 7. There we go. And then bring that strength down a little bit. Cool. And then we want to add a little bit of roughness. Just to make it look cool. And then we'll stick. I don't have a car model, so I'll just put some text in there and see how that looks. Because this is probably going to be something I use for text animation as well. Because it looks pretty cool. Detail 12, roughness very high. Scale up. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe bring that strength up a little bit more. All right, let's check it out in cycles. Because that's kind of the end goal here. All right. Cycles time. Yeah. Yes. That ceiling, it's kind of impractical for that ceiling to have that, but it's okay. My cats always start being noisy when I'm recording. Come on. Maybe I will see her jump in my lap. Yeah, I bet some haze would do this pretty good. Let's go ahead and add that text. In fact, here's a fun little trick. Come on. She's about to jump in my lap. There she is. Can y'all see her? Whoa. All right. So yeah, one really cool trick I'm actually going to play around with right now is let's go ahead. All right, so let's go ahead and in geometry node, so I'm going to turn this plane into text. So again, delete that group input, and then we do have text, which, no, actually it might be mesh primitives. Where's text? Let's just type in text. Am I missing it? I remember there was text. Maybe I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Did they take it off? I remember you could do it in mesh, dual mesh, triangulate. Oh, wow. I guess they took it out. Oh, well. We'll just go ahead and delete that and get some actual text there. Well. I probably am missing it, but when I'm recording these, I try not to waste time digging for things. I'm just like, if I can't find it based on my information I have now, I'll get it later. That's basically the way I think. So let's go ahead, get all caps, And then geometry, of course, will extrude. This is kind of the boring part. And then we could just go ahead and apply one of those materials we already have, maybe the metal. And then make it touch the ground. And then see how that looks in Cycles. Pretty cool. I wanted to check out those reflections there from the ceiling. This can be brighter, for sure it can be brighter. There we go. All right, there you go. That's how you make that. In short, I'm gonna go ahead and polish it up. That'll take a lot longer, but I'll give you guys the project file for this when it's done. But yeah, there you go. That's how you create that. I might even throw a car in here. Who knows? Who knows? But there you go. Thanks for watching.